Hey Facebook friends, today, some of you may have already seen, I was going to share with you all a little bit about the aging process. So usually at my spas or consultations, or even just some of you who know me and know that I do beauty control, tend to ask me a lot of questions when it comes to, well, how do I get, when I say, what's your number one concern? I hear so many times people talking about wrinkles, okay, and the aging process. So I thought today I would give you some tips, and of course I'm going to show you some ways that you can help to repair, and it's Throwback Thursday, so we're going to talk about how you can throw back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever that looks like to you on your face, okay? So before I start telling you about products that can help with that, I thought I would first help you understand why your skin, what does the aging process look like? Why do I have these fine lines and wrinkles, okay? Sorry, I had a phone call there. So there's really two types of aging processes, okay? We have our natural aging process, which is going to, of course, be those things that we really can't avoid. It's just that inevitable aging process that comes as we age, and a lot of that is made up of our genetic makeup, okay? But then we also have our environmental aging. Now, those are going to be the things that are a little more self-inflicted. Some of you might guess what those might be. If you have any guesses, feel free to pop those into the comments. In fact, if you have any anti-aging questions or things that you're really concerned with when it comes to your own skin, feel free to pop it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer those live, or I'll go back and answer those later. But basically, with environmental damage, what happens is we have two main factors as far as environmental damage goes. The first one, you probably all can guess, is UV damage, sun exposure, okay? So for those of you who love soaking up the sun, I see this all the time when I do spas with women who are more middle-aged. I hear a lot of times they say, oh, learn from me, don't be basking in the sun because I'm regretting it now, okay? And that is so true. Not that you can't ever be in the sun, of course, that's inevitable, but the sun really, really does wreak havoc on our skin. So we have UVB rays, UVA rays. Those are all harmful rays that will damage the skin, okay? So you might see things like discoloration, and then also you start to see the onset of the fine lines and wrinkles, which I know we all want to avoid, right? So it's very, very important. I'm going to talk to you about ways to avoid that. But let's say that you've already spent many years in the sun, or maybe you're like me and you even worked at a tanning bed for a while. Yes, guilty, I know. And now I teach people not to go to the tanning beds. But if that is you, then it's okay, because there is still hope for your skin. So I'm going to show you how you can prevent that. Any future damage to the skin. Also, I'll tell you, if you already got it going on, then there are ways that we can help to repair, help to reverse, and then shed some years off of your skin, okay? So with environmental damage, like I mentioned before, it is more self-inflicted. So what happens as we get older, so, I just turned 30, so this is really starting to apply to me, but as we reach our 30s, the rate of our cell turnover, which basically what that means is we want this cell turnover because it keeps the healthy, young-looking skin cells coming to the surface, okay? But what happens is our body naturally goes through this cell turnover process. So when we're younger, those cells are turning rapidly. So when we're out in the sun and, exposing our skin to things we probably shouldn't expose them to, we're not seeing those effects that at the young age. But as we reach our 30s and above, the cell turnover rate starts to slow down dramatically. And that is when we start to see all the things we don't want to see. That's when we start to see, skin that's not once as tight as it once was, or the sagging skin, the fine lines, the wrinkles, okay? So what we want to do with that is a few things, okay? One of the ways that I like to describe this is think of your skin as, okay, so the elastin that holds it all together, okay? So what makes your skin look nice and plump, like my little 2-year-old, right? His skin looks perfect because he hasn't been through all of that damage yet or had the natural aging process going on. So what happens is if you think of the elastin as rubber, I've heard this example, it's a great way to think about it. So the elastin that keeps our skin nice and elastic and nice and firm, think of that as rubber. And then think of the sun as scissors, okay? So when you are taking the sun, those scissors, and you're doing little tears in the rubber, AKA the elastin, okay? Think of, a piece of rubber that's been cut up by scissors. It's not gonna be able to bounce back like it once could. And when we've had all this sun exposure, that's what's happening with our skin. It's just not able to bounce back like it once did, okay? So what we wanna do is we wanna use some things to repair that so our skin can bounce back, so we can get some nice, that's where we'll start to see the 5 years, 10 years, 15 years coming back, all right? So why do we get the fine lines? We kind of covered your natural aging process. Oil glands are less productive, so usually the older we get, the drier our skin gets because we're not having that cell turnover. So that is when we start to see those fine lines and wrinkles show up, okay? The cells retain less moisture, firmness, so again, all the sagging, all of that we start to see it's more prevalent the older we get. So let me go back on my notes here. So now that we know all of that, what are some steps that we can take to fix it, to prevent it, all of that good stuff, okay? Number one is, this one's gonna be a given, but slow down on your sun exposure, y'all. And I know, especially here in the South, especially on a day like today when it's November and it's still 70, 80 degrees outside, I think fall is a little confused right now. Really slowing down your sun exposure, or at least making sure that you're using a lot of SPF, is going to really make a huge difference in your skin. So you can slow down that process moving forward, okay? The second thing is getting into a basic skincare regimen. Now, I'm kind of moving a little backwards with y'all today. I normally preach doing, a basic skincare regimen first, and then adding in the treatments I'm gonna show you today. But it's Throwback Thursday, and we're gonna talk about throwing back the years on your face today, okay? So with your basic skincare regimen, I'll do another video on that at a different time, but those would be things like your cleanser, toner, moisturizer. Ladies, I'm not talking soap and water. That's one of the worst things you can do for your face, okay? Because one of the biggest misconceptions is that people think as they get older that their skin thins, but that's not true. We actually keep the same layers of skin throughout our lifespan, but what happens is we start to lose moisture. So the skin actually starts to appear thinner, and it's not as hydrated and plump looking. So you still keep the same layers of skin, but again, they're just looking thinner because they're not as hydrated as they once were. So you can help that with getting into a good skincare regimen. Just invest in yourself. It's one of the best investments that you can make for your face and for your body. So that's number two. So step one, stay out of the sun, right? Step two is invest in your skin. Get yourself into a good basic skincare regimen, okay? Number three is exfoliate, 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 okay? If you are spending lots and lots of money on high-end makeup or high-end anti-aging creams, but you are not exfoliating, you are seriously wasting your money, and we do not want to waste our money, right? So that is one of the biggest things. In fact, I could probably do a whole other video on exfoliating, and I probably will, because there's lots of great ways that we can be exfoliating. Because basically what happens is when you're putting all of these expensive creams on your face, but you have this dead skin, you're basically just moisturizing and putting this expensive cream on dead skin, and it's never penetrating into the healthy skin to do its job. So number three, definitely exfoliate. And again, I will do another video to teach you some of the best ways to exfoliate and why you would want to be doing that, okay? And then number four is start using treatments. If you are sitting here and you're watching this and you're like, better than Botox, what? Yes, help me out. you want to start using some awesome treatments that are targeted for the anti-aging process, okay? So some of the things I wanted to tell you about today, so 2 major ingredients that I'm going to share with you. So when you're out there and you're looking for what are some really good, anti-aging treatments that I can use, not only to prevent, but also to repair the damage that I've already done to my skin, right? So there's 2 main ingredients that I'm going to teach you about today. One is called hyaluronic acid, okay? I'm not going to quiz y'all later, so don't worry. You can even watch this. It's going to be recorded. The first is hyaluronic acid, and the second one is peptides, okay? So let's first talk about the hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is actually something that your body already produces naturally, okay? But again, as we get older, our body starts to slow down that process of the cell turnover, so the amount of hyaluronic acid we produce it decreases drastically the older we get. So you want to get products that have that hyaluronic acid to make up for the hyaluronic acid that we have lost, okay? And that we are continuing to lose. So we can, there are great treatments that have that ingredient in there. It's actually the ingredient that is known as the key to the fountain of youth. So lots of really cool things about hyaluronic acid. One of the things that it does is, it's actually going to help too with sagging skin and with the elasticity of your skin, okay? Because what it does is it's actually, think of, let's see, what's the best way I can describe this? So when I'm talking, if you've been to one of my spas or a consultation with me, you've probably heard me use this analogy. I like to think of our hyaluronic acid. We're actually going to be talking about filling spheres, because our tight, firm, and filled products that I'm going to tell you about, those actually have hyaluronic acid filling spheres. So all that is, I know it sounds really big and scary. It's not. It's a great thing that you're going to want, I promise, okay? But what hyaluronic acid filling spheres do are they're like these little dehydrated molecules, okay? And when you apply that to the skin, since your body already naturally produces hyaluronic acid, it absorbs it very easily as a topical treatment. So what does that mean? Yay, you can put it on your skin and topically, no pain, no needles, no injections. I don't know about y'all, but I really do not like needles. So if I can get some great results and not have to have injections, I'm all about that. Who is with me as far as that goes? But what the filling spheres do are they are made of pure hyaluronic acid. So like I said, little dehydrated sphere that goes into the skin, and it's actually 1 gram of that is able to hold and absorb thousands of times its weight in water. So what it does is it goes into your skin like this little dehydrated sphere, okay? And then it absorbs the water that you already produce. And as it does, it starts to expand because it can absorb all of that water. So what you've probably heard me say before is I like to compare that to, remember when we were kids, and you would have those little like foam looking dinosaurs, and you put it in a glass of water, and it starts off real small and then it gets real big, right? Anybody remember that? I used to love those things. So think of it like those little foam toys. It probably isn't foam. I'm not really sure what it is. But anyway, that expands with water. That's exactly what these hyaluronic acid filling spheres are going to do. So they will expand and act like a little muscle man on steroids, and it's going to help to plump your skin, okay? So you can say bye-bye to your wrinkles, you can say bye-bye to, fine lines and sagging skin, okay? So that is one of the great things about the hyaluronic acid. So you definitely want to find that in your anti-aging treatments. Now, moving over to peptides. So that's the second main ingredient in the treatments that we want to use, okay? Peptides are really neat because they actually are designed to serve several different purposes, okay? So some of the main ones that I was going to share with y'all today is peptides can help to reduce the depth of wrinkles, Okay, we love that. So especially those areas, we have names for them, like the bacon strips across the forehead, or the 11s right here, the parentheses, right? So y'all know what I'm talking about. So those are, peptides will really help to reduce the depth of those wrinkles, okay? Also, the great thing about peptides is, remember earlier we talked about the environmental damage to your skin and the sun damage and the rubber and the scissors, right? So the other great thing that peptides will do is they actually will help expedite the production of collagen and elastin. So remember, the elastin is that rubber we talked about with the sun analogy, right? So we want to help to produce more of the collagen and elastin so that we reduce that appearance of sagging skin and we have more firm, youthful looking skin, okay? And then the last thing is it's also going to help to repair the skin, which helps with the appearance of sagging skin, okay? So if one of the things I love about that, if you caught on with me here, is that peptides, by using a product with peptides in it, you're not just getting the little quick fix. So people always ask me at spas, okay, so if I put this cream on, is it one of those things that's gonna look good for a few minutes and then 30 minutes later I'm gonna look saggy again? No, it's not like that. I've had some people tell me they've used creams and once the effects wore off, that their skin looked worse than it did before they started using the cream. So you don't have to worry about that with the treatments I'm gonna show you here today. Because with these peptides, not only are you getting the quick results, which we all love, that's why we call this better than Botox, this actually is gonna repair the skin's foundation. So over time, you're keeping that nice, young, healthy skin. Now, aging is inevitable, y'all, but we can age gracefully, right? So that is the goal, that we want to maintain healthy skin, okay? So let me actually show you the treatments that I was telling you about. You might have seen my picture with them the other day. My favorite treatments that feature the two main ingredients I just shared with you, the hyaluronic acid and the peptides, would apply to our tight, firm, and fill treatments. Now, a lot of you call this the Botox stuff. A lot of people, we call it TFF. And when you start using it, TFF is gonna be your new BFF because it's just that good. So we actually have two versions. We have a lot of great tight, firm, and fill treatments, but today, I just wanna show you the basic ones, okay? So if you're just tuning in, I'm showing you the different treatments that are gonna be your better than Botox treatments, but you can actually go back and watch this from the beginning and you can learn about why these are so good for your skin and how to slow down the aging process. I gave y'all some great tips on that. So our tight, firm, and fill, we have this in a couple different treatments. We have an eye firming serum and we have a face cream, okay? Now, our eye firming serum, it's gonna be a lot thinner consistency. So yes, you do wanna use a product that's special for the eyes, because if you even feel right around your eyes, we have way less layers of skin around the eyes than we do everywhere else. We actually slow down the oil, we actually don't produce any oil under the eyes when we get to a certain age. So that is why when I ask women, what's your major skin concern? Usually everyone always says the eyes. That's why you see the dark circles, the fine lines, the puffiness, all of that. We can do another video on eyes later, but it is very important to use something that's special for your eye area. And with this being a serum, it's going to get into that delicate skin a lot more than a heavy cream would, okay, for the plumping purposes. So, so we have our eye contour serum. You can use 1 pump a day. And then if you're watching and you've been to one of my spas or you use this product, you can post what you love about it. I actually do this on 1/2 of the face at my spas. And it is amazing. Within 5 to 10 minutes, like, you can look across the room at women and you can tell which side they did, because it's so much firmer and lifted. So I'm telling you, amazing, amazing instant results. We call it our instant facelift. So you have the tight, firm, and fill eye serum, and then the face cream. Now these are our original formulas that came out years ago before I was even in beauty control, okay? So this is a great line. I love the eye serum in this line especially, but you know, beauty control, we're always trying to stay on top of the game when it comes to anti-aging. So it's pretty exciting. We actually a few years ago introduced an even better version, and that would be our Extreme Tight, Firm, and Fill. Now let me tell you the difference in these two so you know which one might be best for you. So our original Tight, Firm, and Fill, we kind of nicknamed this one the Tylenol version, okay? So it's that original strength. It's going to get the job done. But if you want the Vicodin version, and no, we do not put Vicodin in our products, no. But this is what we nicknamed the Vicodin version because it's so much stronger, okay? So on this bottle, you're going to see it says tripeptide. So remember when I talked to you about the peptides? This is 3 times the strength, okay, of the original version. So again, you can choose from your Tylenol version or your Vicodin version. They're both gonna work wonders. Just depends on maybe how much damage you have going on, or just, you know, if you're a skincare junkie like me and you just always want the, you know, the higher end one. But they're both amazing treatments. So I hope that this was helpful for you all today. I hope you learned something about taking better care of your skin. A couple things, we are running some different specials on those treatments today. So if you want to start throwing back the years on your face, I know I have women, in fact, my friend Paige, she says, like, I wish I could just bathe in that stuff. So it's really, really good. We do have some special prices going on those right now. So if you are not a member of my VIP client page, I'm offering an even bigger special, but you have to be part of my client group. So let me know if you want me to add you to that. If you're not already a part of that, I'll get you added just over the next few days so you can get some extra savings and start trying these bad boys out. And then also, if we have not gotten together for a consultation and you want to know more about taking better care of your skin, I love being able to give women more of that one-on-one attention. So just let me know if you and a friend want to get together, and we can always go over more of this in detail and, you know, customize something for your skin. So again, just to recap, stay out of the sun as much. Make sure that you're using some UVB and UVA protection. We'll talk more about that on the next video. 2, invest in your skin. Start getting into a good skincare regimen. 3, make sure that you are exfoliating. And then 4, invest in some good treatments with some hyaluronic acid and peptides. And you're gonna start to see those years just fly off. So hope everybody has a great Thursday. Have a good one. Until next time.